Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Fritzy, and I'm gonna do another one of these just talking to myself things. Well, you're kind of listening, but I mean, you're not responding, so it's really just me and talking to my head, and you just passively listening afterwards. Yes. I did this a couple days ago. It was just a method for me to actually put something out there for if you listen to my other video, I haven't put stuff out for a long time, and I just I like creating content, and I create such mountains in my head for products or videos that I want to put out that I end up not putting them out. So my idea is just to, I don't even have a topic of what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to ramble, hopefully for 10, maybe 15 minutes. And I'm going to actually, I think I'm going to keep doing this for a while. But my purpose is to start getting back into the content creation, getting back into putting something out there, doing something I'm actually passionate about, but starting a little bit more simple. Because to tell you the truth, I really like making huge videos. I have a Bloodborne video where I think it's like 39 minutes long. That's kind of crazy. It also took me forever to build it, but I really enjoyed it. However, it takes a long time, and I get overexhausted because I haven't built up the endurance, if you will. So if I can just ramble at a camera for a few minutes, at least I'm being present. At least I'm posting something. At least you know I still exist and I haven't just quit on the YouTube thing. Because when I built a YouTube channel over a year ago, I didn't just build it because I need to make a bunch of money and this is, I got to jump on this bandwagon. I actually don't care about making money. I don't actually care about any success. I actually only care about it for myself. There's not 100%, but it's selfish. I like to just create. That's what makes me happy. And I like to share my thoughts, and hopefully it can either entertain you, or maybe I say something intriguing or inspire you or whatever. So there is a little bit of hopefully a selfless element there. But I already have a day job. I'm pretty content at that job. It's not what I want to do for a living, but I'm happy enough doing it. And I realize that, a year ago when I quit my last job, I'm going to go into this and this is going to be my day job, that wasn't practical at all. I don't regret doing it because I learned a ton, and I learned a ton about myself. But I'm happy just doing this. I'm happy just talking to the camera. I'm happy just sharing my thoughts. And to be quite honest, in some weird sense, I don't want a huge amount of success, at least not right now. The reason why I say that is when I've come against a little bit of adversity. So for example, I quit my job, I'm doing this, I'm making some videos. Oh my God, we're out of money. I have to get a job. I completely fall apart, and then I'm not able to post even a single video for months. And then I sort of get back on that bandwagon for a single video, and then completely falls apart again. That's not sustainable at all. I have some issues in my head that I haven't quite figured out on why I get in my own way. A lot of this is me talking to the camera, is me trying to speak out loud, almost in a thought process, on why I get in my own way, why I self-sabotage. And then, talk about whatever else I'm doing in my life. I can share what I'm working on and what I'm overcoming. Might give you some context on where my next projects will be or where I'm going. 'Cause again, I like sharing stuff about my life. It's fun. I it's I like to hide from the world in the sense of being with like a big crowd of people is scary, but doing this is actually a lot of fun for me. So here I am. Hi. Um, Again, I don't know how often I'm going to be making these videos, but I think the last video was a couple days ago. I think every couple days, I mean, again, just rambling something off isn't difficult for me. So I'm just going to try to do it a couple times a week. We'll see. But I just kind of wanted to look into why I stopped working so hard at things I love. You know, I've had a lot of jobs in my life, and a lot of jobs were really hard, and it was like just running into obstacle after obstacle, and I would overcome it. I would overcome the adversity. And again, you know, like playing games, I love hard games. Not because they're hard or some bragging right, but I love the pushback. I love being able to overcome. And the one thing, I don't know, I guess I've been going to other avenues that are difficult because I'm scared to be successful as an artist, whether it's making videos or acting or whatever else. I am absolutely terrified. The second I remember last year seeing, or was it come January, I finally made 50 subscribers. Woohoo! That was too much for me. That was terrifying. Legitimately. Like, I'm pretty good with just my wife listening to my rambles. And, you know, again, part of this, me doing this, is actually her saying, can you just shut up? Because it'd be like an hour before we go to bed, and I'd just spontaneously monologue like this for an hour and a half. And she's like, I need to sleep. You know, but you have a lot of thoughts. Why don't you record it? And go, I don't want to. So I'm finally listening to my wife. You know, kind of stubborn, but finally doing it. But I'm trying to figure out why. You know, sometimes it's like the voices in your head. You know, maybe someone said, hey, you should do something else or whatever. And I think there's a level to that. I don't want to embarrass myself. And I wonder, with me even saying that, why do I care? I walk outside with blue hair. I'm flamboyant as hell. I make dumb jokes all the time. Ugh. Yet I'm scared on this. I think, you know, maybe an excuse would be, oh, well, I paid too much attention to social media, or maybe I paid attention too much to my friends. But that can't be the truth either, because I basically isolated everybody in my life other than my wife. My best friend I talk to once every 6 months. Hi, Abe. How you doing? There's times that I've deleted social media from my phone. Not deleting my account, but just so... Because when I pick up my phone, that's when I want to check my social media. I don't actually go onto my desktop and look up social media, because this thing... When I sit down at this computer, I think I must work. Like, build videos and such. But something is still in the way. I don't think I'm going to figure it out in this video. I think it'll take me a while. And again, why I like to play games. And, you know, movies do the same thing. And I'll probably end up talking about movies and how they impact me too. And stop trying to limit the content that I'm putting out. But... I don't know. One thing I'm going to try to do. So I worked at this one company I lived in Japan for a year, and I got the one type of job a guy like me who can't speak the language can get, which is teaching English. You might say, well, don't you need to know Japanese to teach English? And the answer is no, at least not with this company. You taught English through immersion, so you would only speak English to the clients, and they would learn. And it was actually like really cool company the way they set things up. But they had this rank system, kind of like Uber, you give people stars. And at first I went into it like head in, just like gonna grind this out. I'm gonna do my best. And I'm gonna look at my stats. I'm gonna look at what people are ranking me for. Excuse me. And I found I was getting low rankings. I was getting 3 stars. I'd get 2 stars. If you get 2 stars, you get a talking to. I got multiples of those. I'm like, why? And I found myself hating the job. I started blaming the company, and I started blaming the students. Like, they're just fucking stupid. It wasn't my fault. It took me actually a long while to figure out it was actually just entirely my fault, which was useful for me anyway. But one of my tactics that I started was I stopped looking at the numbers. I stopped looking at what people were giving me for a ranking. I stopped caring about the comments thereafter. All they would do is I would show up to work and I would see, oh, someone booked me for 11 o'clock. Cool. I'm going to take 2 minutes to prep, but I'm just going to let this go out as best as possible. And I'm just going to care about building up the student as much as possible. And then I never got a talking to again. So who knows? Maybe I got all 3 stars across the board. That's quite possible. I don't know, and I don't care. But I ended up working the next, let's say, 9 months that I was in Japan. I was in Japan for 1 year. The first 3 months, I struggled. And then the next 9 months, I kind of built it back up. And by the last 3 months, I was like, damn it, I love this place now. Whatever. I think part of why I was able to figure it out was when I was looking at the stats, I was thinking about myself. When I stopped looking at the stats, I was thinking about the student. I wasn't thinking about how can I put on the best performance? How can I be the most professional, put on the nicest suit and nicest tie? I stopped caring. In fact, half the time I wouldn't even wear a suit. I'd just kind of wear like the collar shirt, like the bare minimum. I started styling my hair the way I like to style my hair, not the professional way that Japanese people want you to style your hair. I stopped caring, but I stopped caring about what people thought of me. And I started caring a ton about what the students wanted. And I found success. So that's what I'm going to do. I mean, right now, the temptation to look at the analytics for these videos is really high. And I'm sure some people can point out how many people are watching versus this or that. But I found when I would look at the analytics for my past videos, I'd see like a drop off right here or not enough people are watching here. And I'd get depressed. I'd get so depressed. I'd get so like in such a dark place. And I'm like, doing this right now, me speaking is so exciting. I'm actually feeling alive. But then I would look and I'd be like, oh, fuck, nobody cares. So, I mean, it's not like you notice on your end if I'm looking at the stats, but I'm telling you that's what I'm going to try to do. And I guess in my next few videos and kind of going down over the next few months or whatever, I'll tell you kind of the results of that, and we'll see where we go. Because maybe I can actually discover something about myself. I think, though I like to create, there is that selfish part of me because it's what I'm passionate about. It's actually what makes me happy. I can't just do it for myself. You know, when you see an actor on stage playing their character, or you see even in film, you can tell the selfish actors, they're just spouting to themselves. They're not actually talking to the other actor or allowing the audience to kind of absorb what they're saying. They're not being present. A thing that a teacher of mine years ago would say when you would have like two people in a two-person acting scene. And she would say, you need to tell this person you're angry. You need to tell them you're upset. And you would be like, oh, I'm upset. And you're like, no, you're talking at them. You're not talking to them. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And it's like, if you're talking at somebody, you're basically just reading off a list. You know, it's like the difference between a good boss and a bad boss. A good boss understands the company. And I mean, okay, actually, let's go to a bad boss. A bad boss understands the company. You know, they know the rules, this and that. And you ask them, why do we do this or that? And they just pull up like a piece of paper that's been sent out in an email, and they write verbatim what some executive said. Like there's no catering to the person they're talking to. Whereas a good boss is like, hey, I get that this new thing that we're implementing is frustrating, but let's just try it out together. There's, I guess maybe empathy. There's a little bit of critical thinking, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. I am going to try to not be selfish. I think that's part of my problem. I'm selfish. At least in this aspect. And I'm just gonna put stuff out there. Yes, I will be putting out more videos of Life's a Video Game. They take a while, and I like to have them highly edited. So that's what I like to do. But I think I'm gonna do other stuff too. I don't care anymore about the idea of the YouTube algorithm, and I need to put out this specific type to cater to this type of audience. The channel is me. So I'm presenting myself, and I'm sharing the things I like. I happen to like video games, so I'm going to talk about video games. I happen to relate video games to my life, so I'm going to talk about how games relate to my life. I happen to just have things going on in my head, so I'm going to just talk about what's going on in my head, etc. Anyway, I think I'll leave it at that. I think, well, one, this talk was a lot less awkward. I think there was a lot less ums. I'm not sure. I'll have to listen back. I don't care. I'm not going to even edit this. I like doing the non-edited version. It's also really easy to upload. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again. Peace.